Then we're gonna do like a technical and architectural overview, and then I'm gonna talk about the use cases. And I know I'm the last presenter, so probably everybody wants to go for lunch or cerveza. So yeah, I'll try to keep it short because I know that you have been here since early in the morning. All right, so first of all, like building AI products is very, very, very tough, right? It's not what you expect to see, oh, just plug it to ChatGPT and play, right? It doesn't work like this. So that's why like every vertical has to do their own development. So when we say about government excellence, right, there are like four things that we do. We create specialized AI agents, right? So exclusively for government employees to enhance their daily operations. Either you're on the commercial sector, on the public sector, we do many, many repetitive tasks, right? The whole idea of having an AI agent, nice solution like us, is like to spend less time on doing those tasks because there's always like so much work overload, right? The second task is to make sure that you have an assistant that you can make you get better decisions. We people can often make mistakes. AI can also make mistakes, right? We never said that AI is accurate. But it's always nice to have someone that you can go ask questions and make sure that they give you the right information analysis, how the AI got to that information, then it's up to you to make the final call. Data connection, right? I can talk about hours for this one, right? That also applies also to commercial vector, but like in governments, we still see like many organizations still are not digital. They might have information in various PDFs or Word documents, or they might not be able, you can find them always on the document management system you have. And some of those data, they're very unstructured. Some of them, likely, they're structured. But the whole idea is like to be able to have the AI to analyze both structured and unstructured data and be able to find when you're at the work, information might be in different sources, right? Applications. So the whole idea is to be able to get it all together in one place. And finally, we talk about secure deployment. Of course, when you sell to government and even the discussions we're having here in Mexico, the first question they ask us is like, where my data will be stored. And based on the architecture that you will see later, we can either take our solution and you have three options. Either you can use our own infrastructure, or you can go to the government cloud, or even you can host it 100% on-prem. So overall, we have seamless integration, we have true enterprise search, and when we say true enterprise search, meaning that usually an employee spends about 9 hours a week finding information, right? Because they cannot find it on their laptop, they cannot find it on OneDrive, they cannot find it on the application. They call the colleagues, hey, where is this policy? What's the law for this example? Everything takes so much time. So we do enterprise search that we can find capabilities across multiple and disparate systems. We offer secure permission-based access to sensitive information. And also, we allow the ability, if we cannot get the information through an API, we have our own connector that connects to the application, and we can get the systems. So, as we said, right, it's very easy. Connect to ChatGPT, connect to any LLM, and play. That's not how it works. So here we're going to go some quick technical overview, because it's very important to understand when you see something. Even with ChatGPT, you go like on chat and you give a prompt and waiting to get a response, but there is a lot of engineering behind, right? So for those that they're interested in the technical side, You can see our components and our stack. We have, everything is built on Django, right? So that's why Python, they say it's also the framework for machine learning and AI. It's becoming, again, popular a lot. We have built everything. We do asynchronous tasks handled by Dramatic and Redis. Our database relies on PostgreSQL, and we have a semi-isolated database schema. Of course, this is the framework. When companies or even organizations, they're going to go with our own infrastructure. When we go to on-prem or their own cloud, it's a bit different. This is the architecture diagram. This is the process that we follow every time when we go and sell a product to a company, and that applies both to either commercial or governments, right? You have to go through a security overview, you have to go through a technical architecture overview. So always we present a diagram that we show like the flow. You understand that the front end, when we say front end, this is like the chat, either like our own chat interface or any other chat interface that they want to host our solution. Then you can see that it's connected to Django app. And then we have the AI ML engine. And then we have also the Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch is our vector database. For those that probably know about RAGs and all those systems, you have to use a vector, and we use Elasticsearch. And then you can see what's the flow behind the scenes for the user to get all the right responses and have multiple connectors and systems talking to each other. So we go now more down, and this is like the AI flow. As again, the way our solution works, and many others do, like for us at least, the customer can choose what LLMs they're going to use. At the stage that we are today, we give them two options. Either you can go with OpenAI and their own proprietary LLMs, or many organizations, they're going to go with open source, and then we give the option to go with Llama. So then it's always very transparent on what it's connected to, and they know like either we go with the OpenAI or with Llama, which is like an open source model by Meta. And then you can see that the moment that you get the information from the dialog managers, it goes to LLM, it connects also to the Elasticsearch, and then we have also some other deep learning models run. One of them that we use for, which has been proven to be good for chat, is the BERT, the transformer models, and they do all the analysis, and then depending on what prompt we got, what was the user input, then the AI decides, based on what information has access to, right, decides what to give to the end user. Of course, in order to, as we said, it's very important for any solution that is connected to multiple systems. It's only as smart as the data that it's connected, right? Data is in my opinion, data is the gold at this era that we are, and not so much the model, right? Because the model, probably those that follow the trends, infrastructure becoming more efficient, more capital efficient, right? But it's very important to have, to get the information. For us, since our products are enterprise products and not consumer, meaning that they don't talk to the web, it's very important to have access to the applications and the data from the organizations. So imagine all these architecture that is it's available like to connect multiple integrations, and this is a sample of integrations that we have. You can see like some very popular, like from document management systems, from like Google Drive, OneDrive, like knowledge management, Notion, Azure, Okta, CRM, Salesforce, right? Everything that an organization uses, we have to get that information. We get that information through APIs. Every company, those that publish the API, we get the endpoints, and we get access to the endpoints, and we can perform the specific action. All right, now we talked about what we do. We had a very high-level technical overview and architecture overview. We talk about the LLMs, the connectors. Now let's talk about some of the real case projects that we have with other governments. This is with the Greek Public Employment Service. It's a government agency with 5,000 employees. And the problem that we solved there is that they had like thousands of records. They made them digital, but they had the problem that they didn't store file associated per employee correct. So let's say like I'm Christos and all my like records, my degrees, they save them as Vasilis or Juan, right? It's totally chaos. So when someone like from the workforce management wants to get information about an employee, it's impossible to get it because they have to check like thousands of files and they're not stored properly. Plus, like all those files are scattered across multiple documents and repositories. So what you do, so what we did, we got access to all those documents, and since with the power of LLMs, we can read actually the context of its file. So when someone wants to find information for an employee for like, do like a salary increase or like do a promotion and want to check like the record and performance, the employee of this organization just goes, or the manager or the director just go and puts like, show me everything about Christos, for example, or show me like when he got last promoted, or when he got his degree, his master's degree, if you want to make like some salary adjustment. So like a process that was taking like 2-3 days, literally 2-3 days, to like read, to assess every employee, now like within 5 minutes, right? Even less, you can get that information. So the values like is immediately, and we can provide instant and accurate answers like which employees in department X hold postgraduate degree, and we like reduce the manual effort of employees spending digging through records by deploying a data analysis agent, right? So we have like, we got connected to all the applications, and then we build with the right prompts a specialized agent, the data analysis agent, that when the employees like call them on through our portal, through our like our platform, it goes through, scans name of the employee, the criteria that we have put on the model, and we can get the result immediately. So, what's the impact of this project? We save time for employees and HR teams. We ensure employees are properly placed in salary brackets based on verified qualifications. And then we proved that this is a model that can be expected to other government entities because all countries has the public security office. So it's not only like one country. That's one project. Second project. This is in a different country. It's with intellectual property organization. Are you familiar with this organization? Yes, no? So intellectual property is like, let's say here in Mexico, when you wanna like submit a trademark, or even like you start a company, you wanna make sure that this name doesn't exist already, you have to go to this organization. Its mission is to protect and promote innovation by granting patents, utility model certificates, and industrial design rights, while also raising awareness on intellectual property as a driver for competitiveness and growth. So imagine like me starting my company here in Mexico, Gaspar, and there's been already like another one with the same name, right? I have to go through this office to submit the application for the trademark name. So today, before getting to this country, when an organization or an individual applies for a trademark or for a patent, right? There is someone that has to make that decision. They have to go check all those criteria. They have to check like if the name already exists, if it offends the laws of the country, and they have to go all this like checklist, which is again, it's a very manual and repetitive process. Take like 1 to 2 days for each application to get reviewed, and then still you're on your own. So again, like you have to go like, again, to show it to your other colleague because you have both to make the decision, right? So that's like a very, very time-consuming process. So for us, what we do in this organization, we implemented intelligent agents that help auditors in assessing whether incoming submissions are legitimate, replicate the routine checks an employee would normally perform, detecting some omissions or inconsistencies, and give the audit summary, right? Give the audit summary says like, me as an AI, I think that this patent should not be approved or should be declined, and gives a reason, right? Of course, we are here to help people make their life easier, right? So we are not the ones that making the decision. The final decision always remains with the employee, but we reduce significantly the time that is required for processing, and we minimize error. Because in this country that we worked, there were like many examples that it became a big political issue because someone applied a big trademark and it was a human error that didn't catch it, right? So that's why they came to us, because they said, humans can make errors, AI also can make errors, but let's have AI and humans work together to minimize the errors, and of course, make the processing time faster, and people, then citizens or companies, when they apply for the go through this process, they don't have to wait for like 2-3 months to get an approval or a decision. It can become faster. And of course, it's something now they're going to implement it to all mostly EU countries, and we're looking to position this project here in Mexico and also in United States. So one summary I have seen with the government vertical is like, either you're based in the US, you work in Mexico, Europe, Asia, like it's a vertical, and believe it or not, pretty much they're pretty much all on the same level, and they have the same problems and the same challenges. So that's why we're here also in Mexico, to help some of those organizations with their challenges and make them more productive. Right. Closing. We automate tasks and streamline workflows by saving countless hours and improving employee efficiency. We don't make the decision, but we help the employee to make better decisions. We reduce the costs, right? Because many of those projects some of those that didn't present, they're tied to a revenue, and some of them they're tied to make the organization more efficient. And finally, we are here for trusted partnership, because all data and all information are secure, and you don't have to worry about being accessed elsewhere. Thank you.
Muchísimas gracias por estar con nosotros. Un aplauso para él, por favor. Y ahora sí, en un segundito, Ok, ¿alguien tiene alguna pregunta que quiera hacer? De este lado, ¿me pasan el micrófono, por favor? Gracias.
Hi. My question is, in which countries are your startup are in?
You mean for the government
Yeah.
vertical?
Yes.
United States and EU, we are in 3 countries in European Union.
Oh, okay. Well, that's right.
But in the US, we're in the state local government, not on the federal level. It's a different way to sell in the state, and municipalities, different way to sell to DC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's all.
¿Alguna otra pregunta?
Hello. Okay. My question is about how do you do to learn people that can or never use AI before. For example, in our government, there's people that it's old or yeah, it's old. And
Yeah.
how do you?
That's a great question. Actually, it's tied to, I don't know if you saw a research that came out from MIT like last week. It says that like 95% of Gen I projects, they fail in organizations. That's like on the commercial side. And also like only 33% of those projects fail if you go with a vendor, right? Because we all get bombarded by information. Oh, it's easy to build, they see the cool demos, but reality is like it's very, very tough to build it because like anyone can build it, but there are 2 main challenges, right? The first challenge is like how cheap you can build it, right? It's different if I build it and costs like 5,000 Mexican dollars. It's different if you build it and costs like 100,000 Mexican dollars because then you cannot support it. That's challenge 1. The second challenge is the accuracy of the model, right? Like imagine if you ask questions and all the time you keep missing the answer. Then you're gonna get bored, you're not gonna use the product, and you're gonna go like it's not ready. So these are like the 2 factors, but they're missing one big factor, and that's what you're tied, is training, right? People believe that like they know ChatGPT and they can use it. That's not the case. So that, and what you said, it's a problem not only with the government employees, even in the commercial sector, because companies don't spend or don't budget for training, right? For the employees. You have to train the employees on how to write to the AI, right? What type of prompts to give. And that's why another reason what we do, we always include in the offerings extensive training. We do seminars and we give them also prompts, right? What type of prompts to write, because this is like, if you write the same way different, we know what's the best way to give the most accurate. So we do extensively training. That's what we do. It's really needed. And if anyone like works in organization or like go through any Gen I project, always take account the training of the user, because it's a new way of interacting.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, thank you for the presentation. I have 2 questions. One is about, as you in your company, as you develop your product and you grow as a company, we are also developing our own product that is a Gen I product for the legal system. Yeah, for the laws in Mexico. And we are having a very good growing. our product is already past the MVP, and what do you want to go further to make the next steps, maybe less in investing or having more money, you know? So my question is, you as your experience, what do you recommend for those companies that are starting to develop these products to grow in the best way? And the second question is about, we are also trying to make these contracts with the government, so they can also use our product. How is the process in your company so that I know that for each country is different, also for each state or federal, but what do you recommend to get this connection?
Yeah, good questions. Actually, the first one, the answer I'm gonna give is not the one that I followed myself, right? So you always learn by mistakes. So I did that mistake because, as I said, we have two products, right? But I think the best way for any startup, in my opinion, is like sell before build, right? So people, especially most of those Gen I startups, start from people that they come from engineering background. I also have engineering background myself. But they also they tend to focus more time on building the product without validating the idea, right? And it's different when you show it to your friends and say, oh, yeah, this is a cool product. Yeah, I like it, but it's different when you ask someone, okay, would you pay for that? Would you pay now? It's like, imagine when you play with your phone with an application, oh, they say, okay, oh, it's really nice. I'll pay like $9 per month. And they say, no, I'm not gonna, it's very important to understand what you're building. Is it nice to have, or is it like a real pain point, right? So always say, especially with the tools that exist today, do a nice MVP through Replit or Lovable, right? In my opinion, don't go over engineering, validate the idea. You know who are your buyers, like go to law offices, legal departments, lawyers, and ask them if they can buy it now. Two things that we did and worked well is like we sold our first product on the government before the product was even complete, right? So that was for me like a validation. Like, okay, if someone pays now without the product is complete, like imagine how much they want it. Like if it's like a real pain point. And it's like a startup and people might like ignore you, right? Or don't take you seriously. Either like offer good discounts. Okay, like let's say what I'm building costs like $200, right? But so you're gonna be my first design partner, early adopters. I'm gonna give it to you like 400, right? But make them pay. Don't give for free, right? Because if it's free, they're not gonna invest time, right? In my opinion. And the second one that we did is because those ones are like big contracts. Is that I think that framework applies to any type of startup product that comes from new startup. Give them a money back guarantee. So let's say like you get my product for legal services. I'll give it to you for you pay the annual subscriptions. If you don't like our product, after 3 months you can like get all your money back, right? So you give to your potential customer like the way to like minimize the risk if your product sucks, right? And then if they, even with that, they don't want to buy it, then like probably might belong to the category like nice to have, not like a real pain point, right? So again, I've done all those mistakes, so that's why like I've learned my way on that. The second one on how to sell, and I think this is like applies to again to product, is like understand in even like private sector or government, understand like what's the number one or two pain points, right? Everyone has a pain point, and it's better if you find. I didn't talk about this project. If you find like projects that they are tied to revenues, right? So like, because you get all those Gen AI tools, they say, okay, yes, we'll save the employee some hours, okay, that's great, okay. But then if the information that the AI gives is like tied to a revenue that they might have or they might lose, then it's like a game changer, right? So if you find any project that it's tied to revenue, I think you have like many chances to sell this product.
Ok. ¿Alguna más? ¿Listo? Perfecto, pues Cristo, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Un aplauso fuerte para él, por favor. Nice to meet you. Muy bien, pues vamos a dar un pequeño break de 5 minutitos para que vayan al baño, tomen agua y tenemos un ponente más para cerrar. Así que nos vemos aquí, son 12:50.